Beterbiev versus Bivol is coming up. I'm actually watching the undercard right now. Paulie TV. What's going on, guys? My thoughts on Beterbiev and Bivol has gone back and forth since this fight was signed. I've thought that at the beginning Beterbiev would get the better of him. Then I've gone back to Bivol, then back and forth back to Beterbiev, and now I'm back to Bivol in this fight. I really can't see which way it's going to go for sure. Both guys are mentally very strong. Both guys have a winning approach. Both guys, it's hard to break their winning spirit, but both guys approach it a bit differently physically. You know, obviously you have that in-and-out style of Bivol, but he's not an in-and-out guy where, you know, eventually he turns into a runner if it's not going his way or if you trouble him. He's going to continue to try to make you pay. The ideal in-and-out fighter plays on that edge of distance, and he changes distance consistently, but what he does is he constantly makes you pay, constantly. As soon as you step in, he's constantly making you pay. He's changing range. As soon as you attempt anything, he's making you pay all the time consistently. And eventually guys like that, what happens is they get so much control of the fight that even if they don't knock you out, they end up, you know, you're basically putting your hands in your pocket where you're tentative to step in so aggressively, so you're not as aggressive. And then what happens? They're able to lead more and more and more. So, you know, he's good on the lead, he's good on the countering and the changing range and whatnot. He's good on stepping on the gas once he sort of has you in his pocket. And he knows how to control the fight. Beterbiev, on the other hand, obviously not as quick on his feet. He's a little bit older as well, but he cuts off the ring very, very well. He's going to continue to bring it to you, press you all the time. And he also makes sure he makes you pay consistently. So both guys, really, the clash of styles isn't just that they're great fighters and they're having this, oh, that's got to go, but it's also that they sort of complement each other in opposing ways. And they're both, at the same time, from a physical perspective, they oppose each other. From a mental perspective, the opposition is also difficult to challenge because both guys have that winning mentality, meaning when you do hit them, they're not just going to go anywhere. Both guys have been hurt, been down in fights. I think Beterbiev was down against Callum Johnson. Anthony Yarde had to give him some trouble as well, but he couldn't just, you know, the guy's always in your face. He's like the boogeyman. And when it comes to Bivol, you know, he was hurt against Joe Smith as well in a fight that he was winning well, but he had to overcome that getting hurt. So both guys also have that, the physical acumen and the mental acumen as well. I feel like Bivol's younger legs are eventually going to start to slow down Beterbiev just a little bit. Not so much mentally. I think Beterbiev will try to the end, but I think you have an opportunity here when he's 39 years old to even for a late stoppage or it could go the distance, you know, and Bivol wins. In a fight where he may wind up having to get up off the canvas, and a fight where he may have to, you know, overcome situations where he's hurt. I think he could also hurt Beterbiev. Beterbiev's shown himself to be hurtable, and he's shown himself to, you know, put himself in positions where he can be hit and he can be hurt. So I think Bivol, who's sharper than anybody Beterbiev's fought since Vazdik, it can also hurt Beterbiev when he's this sharp, if he's hitting him consistently, especially that Artur is the kind of guy who's going to keep bringing it to you. You're not going to make him put his hands in his pocket, so to speak. So those kind of guys could get themselves knocked out or dropped, as Beterbiev has done before. So I pick Bivol, but it's such a good fight. It's a difficult fight to call. I'm just going to go with the younger Bivol because in this regard, he's also, you know, not coming off the surgery. You know, Beterbiev had come off the knee surgery. He'd had some kind of wisdom tooth pulled before that. You know, when you get older, you're dealing with these injury knickknacks. So you're not even sure how healthy Beterbiev comes into the fight, not to make excuses. But at 39 years old, it's difficult to come in fully healthy into the fight. I'm watching the undercard right now, guys. I thought Ben Whitaker quit in that fight. I thought Ben Whitaker quit. I thought, you know, Cameron was starting to put the pressure on him more and more and more. And I like Ben Whitaker. I like that flash pizzazz style, but you got to also have some substance behind it when it gets physical for you. You got to be able to go back to those basics. It's not all fun and games all the time. You got to be able to know how to win the fight when it gets physical and be the boss of it when a guy doesn't want you to be the boss. You got to be able to still make him understand, hey, even if you're going to keep bringing it this way, if you're going to physically bring it, I know how to be the boss in more ways than one. There's not just fun and games here. And I don't know that Whitaker was showing that, man. I thought he was in some trouble. If you look at when Cameron pressed up against him, look at what Whitaker does. Whitaker jolts back into the ropes himself, and he's holding with his two arms. He's holding Cameron. So when he goes back, he's able to pull Cameron with him. Listen, Cameron's definitely making it physical. He's probably putting his head on his face a little bit, but he's not pushing him enough to go over the ropes like that. It's Whitaker who brings them over the ropes. Watch it again. It's Whitaker who jerks back, and in that jerk back, he's able to take Cameron with him because he's got his arms around Cameron's arms, so they both flip over the rope. Very, very weird, man. Very weird. Because, again, I was very high on Whitaker as a prospect. But from a mental perspective, you got to be more than just flash pizzazz. When you show that flash pizzazz style, you also have to have the ability to bite down, because eventually those guys are going to take you there. You know, you didn't expect it so much to be at this level. I mean, Cameron is solid, but he's not world class. But certainly something to keep in mind here with Ben Whitaker. I want to know what everybody thinks about that as well, as I watch in the undercard. Sky Nicholson is about to start now, so let's check it out. That's my prediction for Bivol and Beterbiev, and those are my thoughts even on the Ben Whitaker fight on the undercard. I'm Paulie Malignaggi. This is Paulie TV.